Hey everybody, this is Bud Smith, and I'll skip the fancy introduction. The purpose of this video is to show you some real-life OSHA fines and present you some options for dealing with a surprise OSHA inspection. You know, you're probably going to shake hands with an OSHA inspector at some point. Maybe you already have. I can tell you that it's not on my bucket list. The problem is that most businesses are in denial. They think and hope that I'm too small. OSHA will concentrate on the bigger companies. While that used to be the case for the most part, the recent budget demands that are being forced on all governmental agencies has resulted in much stronger enforcement in new areas where they know they can achieve relatively easy and undisputable fines. Right now, the United States government spends well over $500 million on OSHA, and they conducted about 92,000 inspections in 2012. What that all boils down to is this: you need to be prepared. Either you get the training and fix the issues to become compliant, or be prepared to get slammed. Now, I'm going to show you an actual example of some fines that one business received during a surprise OSHA inspection. This is the real juicy stuff that you're looking for. And you're not going to believe the things that this business got nailed on. Okay, so here is an actual copy of some of the fines from the OSHA report known as the Safety Order and Notification of Penalty as a result of that inspection. Some information has been blocked out to protect the identity of the business. Now, in this particular case, OSHA fined the business $30,750 for a total of 35 violations. If that was my business, I would have to hand over the keys. And by the way, you will find it interesting to note that this company's owner has been very proactive for his employees' safety over the years and has a superb safety track record. Also, I would rank him in the top 10% of the companies we help. You will have to judge how you think you would come out on a similar surprise OSHA visit yourself. Now, in our one-page surprise OSHA inspection report, we told you about your right to ask your employees to take a break until the inspector leaves. We also told you about your right to ask the inspector to wait for a few minutes in the lobby. This will give you time to do a quick cleanup of the area and shut off all operational equipment. Here's why that could be vitally important to you. For example, take this violation. Smoking near the chemical storage area, which was located adjacent to the spray booth, was permitted. A recently smoked cigarette was sitting on a table located immediately outside the entrance of the spray booth. The fine? $1,750. Now let's say your guys know that they're not supposed to be smoking near the chemicals. But that day, one guy just happens to need a quick puff to deal with the stress of life. And boom, that 25-cent cigarette just cost your company $1,750. If you took a moment to inspect and ask the employees to clean their areas, that fine would have been avoided. If you thought that was great, check this one out. Beverages were permitted to be consumed in the areas that were exposed to toxic materials. Soda cans were present outside the spray booth on a table. The cost of a couple 50-cent cans of soda? $1,250. Are you keeping score? That's $3,000 for employee negligence that you are responsible for. How about this one? An extension cord used to power a floor fan near the spray booth was not protected against accidental damage by being run over by a forklift truck that could cause a short, creating a shock and fire hazard for employees working near the area. Basically, you've got an extension cord laying across the aisle that a forklift could travel over. That's another $1,000. It would have taken only 10 seconds to unplug the fan and move it back out of the aisleway. I think you're getting the picture. It could potentially save you thousands to stop work, clean up the environment, and ask the workers to take a break for a while. Also, I want you to realize that OSHA does not have to witness something that is hazardous, but can and do fine for things that, in their opinion, may become a hazard. Now, I don't have the time to go over all the fines with you at this time, because we'd be here all day. But I do want to share a few more with you. First, this one. Nylon slings used to lift metal objects in the facility had frays and holes in the fabric. The slings were not taken out of service. Employees used the slings in conjunction with overhead cranes to move around metal objects in the facility. The fine, $1,000. Now, first off, make sure you're using the proper nylon slings to move metal parts if you have a crane. It's part of your employee's job to alert you when a piece of equipment may be unsafe for operation. But if they don't, you could get slammed with an OSHA fine. Secondly, This may not have been an issue at all if the workers had stopped working during the inspection. The same thing holds true for this OSHA citation. The blade on the horizontal bandsaw was not fully guarded. The bandsaw contained a sliding guard with approximately 7 inches of exposed saw blade on each side. Employees used the bandsaw to cut metal parts in the facility on a daily basis. All right, and common sense be damned. It was brought to the inspector's attention immediately that the safety device on the bandsaw would not allow the bandsaw to operate with the guard in the open position. An employee obviously opened the guard to clean the area, but did not replace it when they were finished. The time to fix the issue, approximately 5 seconds. The fine for not having this guard in place, $2,500. This goes to show you that it's extremely important to make sure your machines are fully guarded. And if you think that's crazy, here's one of my favorites. A fire extinguisher mounted on a wall located near a plasma cutting machine did not contain an identification placard. That's a fancy way of saying there was no fire extinguisher sign above the fire extinguisher. How much did that cost them? $500. Now you can get a really nice fire extinguisher sign for about $5. That means the fine is 100 times the cost of a sign. Now here's a tip. Invest a couple of bucks in fire extinguisher signs and make sure you have them above all your fire extinguishers. These are all great examples of violations that you could fix in your own business or potentially avoid by following the free one-page guide I gave you. That's all for this video. I hope it was beneficial to you. Thanks a lot for sharing some of your valuable time with me, and I'll talk with you soon.